Coke.
Right there?
You have no idea.
I have an ear, and it's pretty quiet in here, so if you want to talk.
Thanks. You're good though.
You alright, Dylan?
Yeah. Heavy on the vodka, light on the tonic.
Are you alright? You seem a little out of it.
Yeah, it's just been an emotional week.
That seems to be a recurring theme around here.
Hey, weren't you at the funeral?
Oh, yeah. I was at the funeral.
My name's Taylor. I was a childhood friend of his.
Hi, I'm Chase.
So, how'd you know him?
Who? Larry? I was his roommate in college.
Larry?
What? Everyone called him Larry.
Not around here they didn't. It was Lawrence. But I guess when you have a mother who insists, college can be a chance to change that.
Yeah, I don't think Larry is much of an improvement though.
That's true. So how'd you end up in here?
Well, he went on and on about this bar and how great it was, but we never got a chance to go. So given the circumstances, I figured it was sort of my duty to come and have a drink in his honor.
Yeah, he loved this bar. We even used to come here as kids to get food. Our parents would take us. We even got to know the owner. But then when Lawrence went to college, I stayed behind and helped my mom out and took some classes at the community school. But whenever he would come down to visit, we'd meet up here and get a drink, catch up.
So did you guys grow up together?
Oh, yeah, our parents actually moved to the neighborhood at the same time. Yeah, we grew up across the street from one another.
So you could sort of say you were his next door girl.
I was his nothing.
Come on, I could see him peeping across the street a little bit.
No. Lawrence wasn't like that. He wouldn't look at me like that.
Well, then you didn't know him during his crazy years, because, boy, we had some stories.
Like,
Well, one night, we got hammered. So, what do? We went out to Walmart, like anyone would do. So, we go in, and we're in the pet section, and boy, there's this nice babe in there. And we go up to her, and we ask her, hey, we'd like 2 goldfish. So she's just going on and on about how you have to clean out the fish tank every 3 days and feed it. And we're just nodding our heads and agreeing like 2 dumbasses. But anyway, so we then finally get the fish, and so Larry grabs the bag, pops it, drains all the water out, and down the hole. Oh yeah. It was extreme.
he could have gotten a disease or something.
Well, I mean, he had a stomach of steel. We're talking about Larry here.
Lawrence. Stomach of steel. No way. One time, we were sitting at that bar with our parents, and he bet me he could eat every shrimp in the bowl.
I'm seeing a recurring theme of seafood in our stories.
But what we didn't see was that the shrimp had gone bad in the freezer.
Oh crap.
Oh crap is right. He spent the entire night in the bathroom while I was watching Dirty Dancing.
I think he had a better time in the bathroom.
I think you have terrible taste in movies.
At least I've got better taste in alcohol. Bartender, refill please.
Sure. By the way, it's Jess. Would you like to top off, Taylor?
Yeah, sure, thanks.
Do you guys want any food?
Actually, yeah. I'm starving.
I know. We'll take 2 orders of nachos.
Right up.
Oh, I love nachos, especially after a long day like today.
They were actually Lawrence's favorite food. And if you're going to do this bar justice, you have to go all the way.
Hey, I mean, you can't go wrong with nachos.
That's very true. Hey, do you have any more stories about Lawrence?
Actually, none in particular. However, there was just a few years back where I was going through a hard situation. So, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety at a young age. But growing up, it was so challenging because my family was constantly on edge, going around, worried that I might have an anger outburst or have a manic episode. I finally got on meds when I was in middle school and thought, hey, I've got this under control, even though I've got ups and downs. But college came around, and my first semester was a mess. I was having panic attacks, and I was turning to self-destruction. I mean, there was one night I was studying for a calc exam, and I just absolutely lost it. I felt so afraid. Larry, he was never afraid to go diving headfirst into someone else's shit. He just jumped right in. He came over and just walked in on me having my attack and checked in on me to make sure that I was safe and to try and calm me down. He was my counselor. He tried to, and he did, turn my life around. Honestly, without him, I don't think I'd be here.
Wow. I can't even imagine what that would be like. I'm so sorry.
It honestly wasn't the most enjoyable experience in my life, but it was ages ago, so I mean, it's fine.
Well, it totally seems like Lawrence was there for you.
That's for sure.
Any nachos?
Thank you.
I couldn't help it over here, but were you talking about Lawrence? He comes in here all the time.
I'm sorry, but didn't you hear?
Did something happen to him?
I'm sorry, Lawrence died.
Oh. That's really terrible. But he was in here just the other week. He even left his tab open.
Tab open?
Yeah, it's a house rule. If you can't pay off what you spend, then you leave something here with me in the box so that I know you'll come back and pay it off. The last time he was here, he got in a fight with some guy. I couldn't tell you what about. It was really busy that night. But he left this old guitar string.
Not the best business strategy to allow your customers to leave old wire as a collateral.
But this was valuable to Lawrence. He kept telling me about how he had played with his band at this one gig and he rocked the guitar so hard that it snapped and it cut his hand open right while he was on stage. He kept playing through the entire song, said it was the best show he ever played. He used to wear it on his wrist for good luck. I'm not the sentimental type, but he seemed to really love it, so I figured he'd come back for it eventually. He was good that way, so I guess it'll just stay in the box for now.
He was always so talented. I loved watching him play. You know, one time, he played a show here. I was supposed to go, but I was studying that night.
I remember that show. Didn't end well for him. He shouldn't have had the gig anyway. He was underage, but the owners loved him, and they were actually pretty good. But about halfway through the set, they took a break. And an older woman who had been eyeing him all night came over and started buying him drinks, and he went up to do the second half of the set, and you could tell he was obviously drunk and really off balance. He went to try headbanging, and he tripped over a mic cord and face planted on the ground. He tried to get up, and he vomited on the entire front row.
I didn't know that was when he started drinking, but he was a big guy. He just needed a pick-me-up every once in a while.
Yeah, I guess. So you guys are pretty close, huh? Did you ever date?
No, we never dated.
Whoa. You're telling me that you two never had a thing?
I already told you we never did.
Yeah, but he never went after any girl at school.
Oh, that's like him. Hopeless romantic that he was. You know, growing up with Lawrence was fantastic. We hung out so much that I'd say he was my best friend. We used to always play behind the woods, in their houses, behind their houses. We would pretend to be warriors and adventurers, and he would stand up for me whenever the girls at school would make fun of me for being too tomboyish. I learned how to skateboard and how to play video games because of Lawrence. But I'd be lying if I said I never developed a crush on him. But it was really high school when I fell for him. You know that band? I was actually the manager of that because I had no musical abilities whatsoever. That job basically entailed watching them and making sure people knew when practice was. But I was just happy that he thought of me and wanted me to get involved. Now, sometimes I wish I would have told him how I felt. I just never thought he looked at me the way.
You looked at him?
Yeah, I guess. But I don't know, I really wish I would have talked to him before he went to school.
I know how you feel. I wish I told him how thankful I am for all that he did for me in college. But, you know, life happened and we grew apart.
Yeah, we haven't been hanging out as often either.
You know, there's a way that I can repay that debt to him. Jess, I'm gonna pay off his tab. How much was it, 20 bucks?
His tab was $2,367.62.
What?
Holy shit!
Are you serious? Who drinks that much?
I don't know, that was Lawrence. He really liked his drink.
Kill him.
Slitting.
You know, he was a good guy, and everyone's got their demons. Some a little bit more expensive than others. And I want you to have that. It obviously means more to you than to me. But I think this is the best way that we can remember Larry.
Thank you. It was great meeting you, Chase. I'm so happy that Larry was as important to you as Lawrence.